Helmut Schmidt, 90 years old at the time, asked the question, do politicians understand their responsibility for the rule of law? And by the way, I connect here to what was said, this is a political issue, etc., etc. Never ever accept this argument. Look at it, yes, there are political issues, but also in a political context, the politicians have to bow to the law. A parliament has to bow to the laws it has enacted itself. An international organization has to bow to the charter governing it. This is so important. So when I heard Helmut Schmidt, 90 years, putting this question, I said to myself, why don't we elaborate a guide for politicians on the rule of law at the national level and at the international level? And so we did. A university institution in Sweden, the Raoul Wallenberg Institute, and the Hague Institute for Internationalization of Law. And we have now provided politicians in the world with this guide. Please take these words down. Rule of law, a guide for politicians, and you will find it immediately. It's now translated into 17 languages, Arabic, Bahasa Indonesia, Chinese and so forth, and it is also translated into Italian. So I would advise you to read this guide, not only for politicians, but also for journalists and even lawyers could find some guidance in this guide. So this would be my message to you, and this is where I use Western Sahara as an example of a situation where the law has not been followed properly. And I'm not only referring to the European Union law, I'm referring to that the Security Council should have acted with more determination than they have done here. And this is where I come back to what I said about the United Nations. The Security Council is the organization's most powerful organ, and yet it is sometimes its weakest link. How come that we have permanent members of the Security Council violating the Charter when it suits their interests? The attack on Iraq by UK and the US back in 2003, the attack on Georgia, and now the latest events in Ukraine, by permanent members of the Security Council, violating the very law they're set to supervise. And this is why I think it's so important that in the present situation, and reading the Secretary General's latest report, the Security Council really have to bring the act together and deal with Western Sahara in the proper manner. Finally, since you are students, so many here, I challenged the students at Uppsala University a year ago when Kofi Annan visited with Jan Eliasson, and they had a dialogue. And I was invited to comment on the dialogue. And in so doing, I challenged the students and said to them, why don't you, the new generation, challenge the Security Council and see to it that they do their job in a proper manner? They have taken up this challenge. So now they have started Stop Illegitimate Vetoes campaign. And you can find their website if you Google this one, www.stopillegalvetos.org, stopillegalvetos.org, and you will find the report where they have analyzed the 33 vetoes cast in the Security Council after the fall of the Berlin Wall. 33 vetoes cast, none by France, none by the United Kingdom, 14 by the United States of America, 11 by Russia, and 8 by China. And in their analysis, with a couple of exceptions, they come to the conclusion that they are almost all illegitimate. One example, why did China veto a very, very important resolution on Guatemala? Because Guatemala had invited Taiwan to a ceremony in their country. I mean, is it a legitimate veto? I mean, are we looking at serious actors, the most powerful states in the world, acting in the Security Council, the most powerful organ of the United Nations? We have to see to it that they actually perform. Now I'm just speaking as a lawyer here, and there's no other way ahead than abiding by the law. That would be my message, taking Western Sahara as an example. Things could have been done much better here. And let's hope that the Council brings their act together and deals with Western Sahara in the manner that they should. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We need to look at implementation just to say that is incompatible with international law. Well, la sessione è finita, riprende alle 3, quindi adesso c'è il momento del pranzo. I ask all the panelists to come here to the desk because we have to go together to the place where we have a lunch. Okay? We wait here. Okay, thank you.